Hello, welcome back to another video. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna call the video yet, because well, I don't know, because it's been a while since my last video, and there is a good reason for that. Well, there's a few reasons actually. So obviously I mentioned it in the last video, but I've been having to do a lot of schoolwork and going to school and stuff for the finals for wrapping up the semester, basically, to uh, finish the year, I guess, or like the semester, I mean. So yes, that's I've been busy doing that, and uh, I finished. I'm finished now. I'm pretty sure. I've um, done all my tests and all my homework for the semester, and I shouldn't have to go to school until September now for the next semester. So that's nice in a way. However, another big, or I guess important reason why it's taken me this long to make another video was I was partially waiting to finish all of that so I could share like the experience I was going through coming up to, or well, to the end, towards the end of the semester. But just generally, I've hit, like, I'm pretty sure I might have stated something like this in the last video, but I've basically hit like an all-time low again. I keep failing to I guess dig myself out of the hole that I find myself in, I guess. Instead, often finding myself falling deeper than I thought was the case earlier, I guess. New lows and all that. But I don't know, I've been thinking about how I would go about, like, what I would be talking about and stuff like that. Because I don't think, well, I don't want to be just outright negative and stuff like that, because I just don't think it's, well, worth much to be just negative. And also, I don't think it will bring anybody anything, including myself, to be negative. But yeah, so I basically hit like an all-time new low, which I'm currently struggling to get through, I guess. Like, I don't really have like any like positive way to go about it. It just kind of is like this. I've kind of hit a spot where I've just given up, I guess. I've given up trying to constantly push myself to do stuff and change things to hopefully one day achieve to feel something other than just sadness and emptiness generally. But yeah, I've basically hit a point where I just can't continue going on with just, I guess, without any evidence of there being any better. Yeah, I don't know how to really. There's not really a positive way of going about it, I don't think. I think the best I can attempt is to explain the way I feel and the way I think, and maybe somebody out there will relate, though I'm not sure if that is possible. It's also been a bit of I've been also hesitating with making this video because of exactly this, because I find that when I kind of share these sort of things that people tend to have like a way of responding to this sort of stuff, and it's basically very similar no matter who it is, because it's usually people that just can't relate to this sort of issue, and you know, I don't know. Well, anyway, so as I've kind of been, I was very stressed for a while, doing all the school stuff, and kind of was a bit of a overdrive mode, trying to finish all the stuff off, learning for the tests, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I did. Well, I definitely passed on all of the tests, and I think I didn't really do too badly on any of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've gotten all the marks back, and they were okay. And overall, it's also just okay. I kind of finished, passed the grade, I guess. Although it's not 100% yet because they haven't actually like finished the September. I don't know how I would. It's like they haven't actually closed all the marks, I guess, or all the subjects, because they had some like backup like schedule for people that couldn't make it for the first rounds of tests, basically. So I'm basically waiting for that for them to actually finish it. Then I think they have until the middle of this month to like finish everything up and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I finished that, and well, I went from being kind of under a lot of stress to just going back to my usual, just nothing self. And I don't know, it's been a downward spiral from there, really. It's not like anything has happened or like anything like that, which again is kind of why I hesitate on sharing these sort of things with people, because people tend to think that these things are only like related to what's actually going on or whatever around you. And the problem is that like the reality that is going on around me does not at all represent how I feel on the inside, I guess, or they're not linked in any way, I guess. I don't know, like from an outside perspective, I think people would think I'm doing very well, or I guess mentally, I guess I would say very well, not necessarily like that I'm very good at anything, right? Obviously, but that I'm in a very privileged position, perhaps even. So I'm studying at long distance, so you don't have to go to school every day. I only have to basically I go to school physically only every second month on Thursdays. And even then, it's basically boiled down to now that we don't do that either. It's just basically you go to school on Thursdays when there's tests, because the way it's structured is that you basically do all the learning on your own time and stuff. Usually you get provided with stuff that you should learn from, and like basically the expectation, and you obviously get monthly homework or assignments, I guess, that you have to fill out. And that's pretty chill for most people. But the problem is like because of how I'm mentally, I could not do a more intensive school thing because I have tried, and I'm just not capable of doing that without self-destructing. I just don't have. Um, I don't know if I would say like resolve capability. I don't know. I just I just don't have the energy, I guess, to go to school every day and then spend there 7 hours every day and learn and stuff like that. Because I think people that have been to school, right? I think everyone would be watching has been to school at some point in their life, can relate to the feeling that um, it's very iffy on what you learn at school. Because even as somebody who used to pay like I would say above average amount of attention to what goes on in the lessons, um, you're just not very capable of taking in all the information in a lesson. Because like if you start, like I used to have like a school where it was switching. So some days you would start at 7, and other days you would start at 8. Or I think it's like 7:50. I think it works out to be like that it starts at 7 or 7:55. Because the school starts at 7, and then sometimes you do later and sometimes earlier. Why it was like that, I'm not sure. I think it's because like people that learn to be like plumbers and stuff, they are always there earlier because then because they work on the thing that one week they're at school and the other week they're um, basically like on a site, I guess, or um, in the workshop, I guess. And when they're in the workshop, and then later on when they're doing like an apprenticeship, basically, which is then their other second week stuff. They start at 6, so I guess it's to like ready them for that sort of cycle. But yeah, I used to do that, and yeah, I didn't manage to finish that school. I just mentally imploded upon myself, I guess. Which, to be fair, I am not really better off yet, or I don't know if yet is a correct thing to use here because it's not necessarily something that will get better. Definitely not on its own, obviously. I don't know, like I've been struggling with, I guess, my mental state for like I don't know 6 years now, 5 6 years, and like sure, I guess maybe for the first year I wasn't doing anything like any professional help or stuff like that, but then I got kind of forced into it just because of like suicidal tendencies and stuff like that. And well, I don't know, to be honest. I don't find much I guess worth in the professional assistance I get. Because again, it's like well, I guess it's important to note that when it comes to this sort of stuff, it is heavily dependent on the individual. Not only on the individual, but also the individual's, I guess, like dedication or resolve to fixing themselves, I guess. because a person that doesn't want to be fixed is never going to be fixed by someone else, is the point that I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily like that I'm trying to state, it's just what I've been told. And I think it makes sense that would be the case. But I don't know, I find it difficult because I think that I am trying my best to fix things. But what I think and what others perceive are not one and the same. And people seem to think that I should or could be doing better. And should be doing things differently, and I should be doing more, or yeah, just like that sort of things, or that I'm not trying, or that I'm not trying hard enough, or that I'm simply just refusing to change, or that I'm just happy being miserable, I guess. That I've gotten used to being miserable, and that's the way I want to be now, I guess. Or that I'm comfortable in that way, so I don't want to change that because it will go out of my comfort zone. But I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that I try my best to change things for a more beneficial, I guess, thing. I don't know. I try to do things and focus on more positive things, even though it is a very difficult task for me because I'm not a positive person in any way. In fact, like again, I keep being told that that I'm a very negative person. But like the thing people don't seem to understand is that what they perceive as me being a negative person is me trying my best to be positive, which I don't really know how you could go about, because it doesn't matter what you're gonna say, because they're not gonna believe you, because they don't understand, I guess, how like you could be trying to be positive if they just see that everything you're doing is negative. It's the whole thing with you can't go from negative to positive, right? You kind of start off trying to get to the middle and then maybe go in the opposite direction. And I think a lot of my choices currently are kind of trying to go for the lesser of two evils usually. But yeah, I don't know. So I finished the semester, as I've said, and I had my psychologist appointment, and I've been instructed to either like start planning like places to go and stuff like that for the kind of holiday, as in like places to visit or stuff like that, or to get a job, right? A part-time, or just a job, or like a part-time job thing. And so the problem I have with this currently is that I just feel so bad that I really don't want to go anywhere or do anything. And like I've been forcing myself for so long to do these things without there being any change to the way I feel, that I just don't have the motivation or the dedication or just anything to continue pushing myself. I just can't. Like, I've been inspecting the job market again, and there really isn't any options. Especially considering the fact that the only like available positions were either 12-hour shifts or jobs which are in high demand. And it's just very unlikely for somebody with no qualifications and who is relatively young to be able to secure one of these jobs. And also, needless to say that they're still like almost full-time jobs. Like they're slightly ones. They're like 35 hours a week, and so 40 is the standard here. A week or a month? It's not really like, I know that it's kind of looked down upon to just say like, okay, it's not really worth doing or trying, but I don't think it is, and just I don't have the sort of energy to just throw away things which are likely to lead to nothing, or I guess are really very unlikely to get me anywhere. With the like visiting places and whatever, the issue I have is that these sort of things don't tend to help very much to me, like going out for these sort of like adventurous things, because I'm just not very sociable, and I find it quite stressful to like be around people just generally. But I know that the argument is that you have to get used to it because we live in a society. But I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not something that goes away. It doesn't matter how often I was like I've I did 2 part-time jobs at the same time for a while. Now my motivation back then was that I felt like I was worthless and that I should give people something. So I would work and then I would give away the money to people which I met online. And well, you can guess where that goes with you, but I basically started working 2 part-time jobs because to afford this sort of stuff, because I wanted to buy a PC for a person, because back then I was, well, I don't know what would be a correct thing to describe me as, I guess stupid. But I thought that if he would have a better computer, because he had a laptop which didn't work very well, that he would be more open to play with me more often and stuff like that, which obviously was a lie. Because he didn't want to play with me. But anyway, that was a terrible experience. Now, it wasn't that I would have both jobs at the same day, luckily, or I guess, I don't know what you think, but still, it was incredibly bad for me to do these things because I worked at McDonald's and I worked at a cinema, I guess, as like the person that checks the tickets and then also like cleans up after people who have been there for the thing and gets it ready for the next showing, and is also responsible for like locking up after it's closing time and stuff like that. And it was terrible. I don't really think there's any other way of going about it. It was really bad for my mental health. There they were both kind of social, I would say. With McDonald's, it's not necessarily, because I wasn't working with customers, I was in the back, but still, it is, you're still in quite a small area with quite a lot of people. Um, and I'm just not very good at that, and I just can't do it with my mental state. I'm just not um, able of to do these things, and plus it was really stressful because McDonald's was stressful because you would have like a load of orders coming in, and then you would have to really rush, and then there would be nothing, and you kind of expecting the next wave to come in, and again and again. With the cinema, it was more stressful because I'd have to interact with people more, like the customers or I don't know, viewers, I guess. And you're also kind of like I wouldn't go as far as to say security, but you're sort of the person that they put in charge of like kicking people out and stuff like that, which is not great for somebody that is not very sociable, I guess, or is a very socially stressful situation, I guess, would be the correct thing. But either way, it was really bad for my mental health, both of these things, and none of these jobs, which I can do with my current like qualifications, would be any different, really. And I think, like, on one hand, I am trying to at least, it's not like that I'm just looking at the job market and I'm like, well, I'm never going to work my entire life. This is because, this and that. But I am working on the getting better qualifications, I guess. But obviously, you can't really get it any quicker than the time that it takes. And yeah, I don't know. I just, I keep thinking like if it's worth forcing myself into it or not. And I don't think that it's worth to add another thing to that would exhaust me and would make me feel like life is worse than it already is, because I just I don't I'm already low as it is. I don't particularly want to go any lower, I guess. I think it's like it's kind of weird because even though I said earlier, right, that I'm at an all-time low, I'm under no illusion that it can't get worse. I think that's kind of the thing where life just works that way, where it doesn't matter how badly you're doing currently, you might think, oh, this couldn't get any worse, and then it does. And sadly, I've lost all confidence. I don't know. I don't think confidence, more like hope. I've lost any hope in just things ever being any different than they are, because to me, I keep trying my best, and it leads me to just a deeper hole. Now, I don't really like. I've currently kind of hit the stage where I'm just sad, or I just don't feel anything at all. I guess I'm numb, and I've also progressed, I guess, from, well, I used to be quite suicidal, and I wouldn't really say I'm any better now. I just have progressed to the point where I'm not even suicidal anymore. I'm just waiting to die. But some people might think better, but in my eyes, it's just I've lost the ability to even try, like, uh, lost the ability to even try doing something in the negative uh, towards my mental health. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I find that most of my opinions that I have in life are not shared by a lot of people, if any. And I've also just sort of turned into a person that I don't particularly see a point of sharing my, like, not just feelings but opinions if I know it's gonna be either controversial or in the minority slash like I'm the only one that would think that. So I just choose to say nothing really. And I mean, I've kind of gotten to a level of social isolation, I guess, where I just don't talk to anybody these days. Um, because I just don't like. It's weird because the way I say it is like that. I don't like. I'm tired of getting nothing out of a conversation, but it kind of implies that I want something from a conversation, like some sort of, something. But what I mean is like I'm tired of putting so much effort into something just for the other party to put no effort into it whatsoever. And like, I don't know, because I have this issue a lot with people where they don't really listen to anything I say and they don't really care what I say. They just want somebody to share their information to, and they don't really care what I say. They don't really listen to what I say. They just kind of go on a script where it really doesn't matter what you say. So I just don't say much, if anything. And the thing that I find annoying. So I mentioned the person I talked to um, in a few of the other things, which is a person I talked to online. And I still have the same issue with him that I do with other people, where it's just, I find it weird that they can't tell if I'm interested in something or not, even though, like, I don't even bother with any social filter anymore. I just, like, it's quite obvious if you cared. That is, if you cared about what you're getting in return, and they just don't. It doesn't matter what you say. You basically could get away with saying anything, and they will always reply the same thing, or they will continue saying whatever they were already gonna say anyway. And they don't really listen to anything you say or anything you share. And even if they do, they won't remember it. It's like, you know, to me, it's just pointless because I don't get any sort of emotional or like, I don't know, like fulfillment out of talking to people if they don't even listen to what I say. And I don't know, I don't know if this is like a common thing for people, but like I assume so. I assume that you would want the other party to be listening to what you're saying. And I don't really understand why you would want to share something just for the sake of sharing without having any input from the other party, because it's like, why bother? I don't know if you can hear him meowing, but he's meowing. It's getting close to his feeding time. Because I'm recording this video earlier than I usually do the others, because just um, kind of feel like doing it. And as I've already done my exercising and my shower and my cleaning and stuff like that, I thought I might as well try. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't have anything positive to say to this. I'm out of positive energy, I guess. Just generally don't have anything positive. Like, I feel like life is more of a chore than anything. Just a chore. I tired from the second I get up to the second I go to bed. And like, it doesn't matter how much I do, or what I do. I just feel sad and empty. Um, I mean, I kind of skipped past it, but I tried while I was doing all this cool stuff and stuff. I tried to upscale or increase the amount I was doing. So I would do more cleaning around the house and some extra stuff and some more painting and stuff like that. And yeah, I just can't do that because I can't keep that up because it just doesn't provide me with anything, and it just drains so much energy for me, energy which I don't like recuperate. It just isn't sustainable for me, I guess. And I don't know, like, I've just not been able to find anything that would make me less sad, that would help me achieve anything or like to feel any other way. And it's not like that I just like constantly like thinking about how I feel or focusing on how I feel. I try to do other things. I try to, keep up doing things and stuff. It's just that it's to the point now where I can't even do those things anymore because it's just so um, enveloping, I guess. So strong, I guess. Sadness is so strong that it sort of doesn't leave me. I don't know how else to really describe it. But yeah, I've also been fighting my alcoholism. Well, okay, it's it is definitely an addiction, I think. However, I don't think most people would consider it as bad as an addict, but nevertheless, it is something that I've been trying to fight, and that is being a big thing. Again, it's not like that I drink to have fun or anything like that. I'm not like a thing. I just kind of like just sad. I'm just sad, so I drink, and it's usually just uh like either a way of self-harming or just, I guess, pure desperation to feel something other than sadness, which it doesn't really work, by the way, drinking your thing. I also forgot I kind of do drink to try and forget things, which is also not a good thing or an effective thing, even, because that's not really what you achieve by doing that. I wouldn't recommend drinking to anyone, but I've never been a cool person, so I'm sure that is of no value to anyone. My opinion on that. I also do sometimes have like periods where I do a lot of like vaping, I guess, like these things for a little stuff. The basically smoking, but with like I guess without having to deal with like the nicotine stains and the smell uh, clinging to your clothes and stuff. And if you just smoke inside, it would cling to your ceilings and stuff. The nicotine, if you smoke cigarettes. But yeah, with unlike that, I don't think that is an addiction. That is just me trying to cope harder, I guess, with cope harder with things. I sometimes do that, but with the alcohol, is definitely an addiction. But it is not a serious addiction yet. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody out there might argue that it could be the alcohol why I'm sad or whatever, like to do with the addiction, but it's not. I've always been like this. Um, but yeah, it's also been pretty hot, so that's also not helped things because I don't know. I've also been a bit iffy because I think you can kind of see it, but my face is a bit uh, pimply, I guess, or whatever. I've put like the anti acne stuff on it and things like that, but it doesn't look very good, which is again kind of why I've been deleting this. I've done my eyes again, but I can't actually do it the regular way I've been doing it because of like because it's been warmer and like like the weather and pollens and stuff. My eyes have been really sore and stuff, so they kind of water a lot. So you can see that I kind of had to just I've done like a bottom thing because usually when I do my eyeliner, I do the top. It goes from the top of the eye and then it goes into like a thing and then goes like halfway to the bottom. But I've settled for this sort of like half at the bottom thing because it doesn't interfere with the corners of my eyes. So so it doesn't like mess with my eyes too much. Yeah. Also, I was looking back at my videos, and I saw that I always wore a black shirt, which is not really. I don't just wear black shirts. You can see that I've got like a cat shirt thing here. I like this one. I've got a few other cat shirts as well. And yep, I mean, I still have these. I painted my nails recently, but you can see that they've degraded again. My nails are not doing particularly well either. They're not looking very feminine, sadly, because I just don't have a lot of like lacking in vitamins. Really, they're not very good nails. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's been a battle. Just even looking at the mirror kind of tends to be a battle. But I've been doing my exercising. I've been keeping to my exercising. My working around the house. I haven't been doing any reading because I just couldn't bring myself to do that. I've done some painting. I'm not sure. I might show a picture. I'm not sure because I haven't exactly finished it yet as the time of the recording. So depending on how long it takes me to edit the video, I might have a thing to show. But I painted one of my 3D printed miniatures. I might have painted some other figures since the last time I made a video. I don't know. I also primed a bunch of models I had waiting to be primed. But yeah, I've made progress on the Leopard 2 model that I had. But yeah, I've also gotten into a game called Grim Dawn, which I've had for a while, but only now did I get past. I got stuck on a certain part in the past. I didn't know how to get past it, but now I reinstalled it the other day, and I've progressed past it, and that was pretty good. Well, it's all right of a game. I'm just not very good. It's a lot like Path of Exile or Diablo stuff, the top-down games. But I'm not very good at those um, skills, like doing skills and like having things work together with builds and items and stuff like that. I'm not very good at that. But yeah, well, I have uh, I have shared. Oh, I can't. Uh, I've shared. Well, I have to share really. Hopefully, it's not been overly negative. Might have some value for someone. Maybe someone can relate. Um, but yeah, I've given up on trying to find friends really, because I'm just not a good friend. I think I wouldn't be a good friend, and I just don't have a lot of energy to talk to people, and I'm kind of tired of people, I guess. I guess I'm tired of everything really, but yeah, so hopefully this video had some value for someone out there. Yeah, well, see you next time. Bye.